What does your, life look like when it comes to balance and seasons?
I'll answer it by saying, giving an example of somebody who's out of balance and talks about it very publicly. I was listening to a little 12-minute video yesterday on Elon Musk. I've listened to his, a lot of things he's done with Joe Rogan. I've read some of the stuff that have been written about his history and his tendencies. And one of the things that struck me was he said, people wouldn't want to be me if they actually lived my life. In fact, I'm not sure most of the time that I want to be me. And he is so driven. His mind will not stop. That he talked about when him and his brother moved out of their out of their parents' house, they could either afford an apartment or an office. So they decided to rent an office, and they both slept on the floor of the office. And then they only had one computer. So one would code for 12 hours and the other would code. Like, crazy, right? The guy was just born this way, a different driven human. But in his own realization, he realizes, I'm not sure I want to live this life, right? So I think you have to think through, like, is that, for me, from 2010 to 2014 felt like the right thing to do, just balls to the walls. I was completely out of balance. But then that gave me the ability to take 90 days off and go way out of balance the other way. I had one phone call and had maybe 3 text messages that were work related in 90 days. I was off. And then I realized, well, this isn't making me happy either. So now when I came back, I was back on purpose. I realized that I had to serve. I was hungry to get back into it. So to your point, that season of being out of balance, followed by another season to be out of balance, and then you'll find a more normal, perhaps, place in between. The one tip I'll give you on that is ask for permission if you're in a relationship with somebody. Say, honey, I have a vision, or I think I can accomplish this, and I'm a little scared even telling you about it, honestly, because it seems so big to me. In order to do it, I think this is what I would have to do for the next 90 or 120 days. But then we could do this or have this together. What do you think? Right. And I mean, every spouse is different, I guess. But, my wife would always be like, that's incredible. Like, I think you should do it. How can I support you? And now you have that permission. But I also have set myself a ripcord. Like, I'm going hard for 120 days. And trust me, she's not going to let me get to 126 days. She is going to pull the ripcord at day 120. So I better get it done, and it better be done by that date. So for me, that works really well.
That's a key right there for anyone listening in a relationship. I think that's gold. I want to pivot into financial freedom. What does financial freedom mean to you?
It means being able to do what you want to do with your time. And when I think about financial freedom, I certainly don't think that comes with any less work. It comes with, for me, doing the work that I enjoy to do. So, we started Neo Home Loans about 3 years ago, and I spent 2 years just working insanely hard to get the organizational structure up and get that company up. And we went from zero to a trajectory of $3 billion a year in production for the company in 2 years. We were the fastest growing mortgage company in the country at that period of time. And what I realized after that 2.5 year period of time was I actually don't like being a mortgage executive. I like working with my team. I like coming up with strategy and marketing and content and coaching and training. So financial freedom to me was being able to go to my partners and say, hey guys, time out. I don't like this. This isn't soothing my heart. Like I'm not, my heart is not full here. I want to do this in our partnership, and I want to give all the rest of that stuff up. Well, if money was, if I needed that position for money, I wouldn't have been able to do that. So it's the freedom to do what you want to do in terms of engaging in your genius zone. Genius zone, for me, the definition of that, I was taught this by my coach, Tim Brahim. Genius zone are activities where you have both a high return on investment, meaning you're getting a good return from the market in exchange for your ideas and your services and what you're doing. And it's high return on energy, which means when I engage in that for an hour, I'm more energized than I was before. Or I did it for 3 hours and I look up and go, oh my gosh, I thought I was 30 minutes in this project, right? That's in the zone. So financial freedom to me is I get to spend as much time as I can in the zone.